This filthy check is fake. Watch me burn it right now. The flame danced beneath the $2.3 million check as Sharon Mitchell's lighter clicked to life. Paper curled and blackened. Other customers gasped. A teenager's phone captured everything for TikTok. James Carter stood frozen in his worn jeans and faded hoodie. He'd walked into First National Banking 5 minutes ago, hoping to deposit his business check. Instead, he watched his money literally go up in smoke. Sharon held the burning remnants with obvious satisfaction. That's what we do to fraudsters here. Security footage rolled silently overhead. The live stream counter hit 200 viewers and climbing. James's platinum card peeked from his wallet. His phone buzzed with a calendar alert. Board meeting, 3 p.m. Have you ever been judged so harshly that someone destroyed your property before checking facts? Real-life stories like this reveal how black stories of discrimination still unfold in everyday banking. The discrimination had started the moment James entered the marble lobby. Sharon's eyes tracked his every movement from behind the counter. Her nose wrinkled as if detecting something unpleasant. "Next," she called, but her voice carried no warmth. James approached with quiet confidence. "Good morning. I'd like to deposit this business check, please." He slid the check across the granite surface. Sharon glanced at it, then at him, then back at the check. Her eyebrows shot up. $2.3 million? She laughed. "Sir, this has to be some kind of mistake." "No mistake. It's a legitimate business transaction." Sharon's colleague Lisa Davis leaned over to peek. Both women exchanged knowing looks, the kind of looks that said everything without words. "People like you don't usually have accounts here," Sharon whispered, loud enough for nearby customers to hear. "This isn't that kind of bank." James kept his voice level. "What kind of bank is it?" "The kind that verifies large transactions." She held the check up to the light theatrically. "Especially suspicious ones." Behind them, a teenage customer named Ashley had started live streaming on TikTok. Her phone captured the entire interaction. The viewer count climbed. 50, 100, 150. "Guys, y'all need to see this," Ashley whispered to her phone. "This lady is being so rude to this man." Sharon ignored the standard verification procedures sitting right on her computer screen. The system could check any check's validity in 30 seconds. Instead, she called across the lobby. "Kevin, we need security over here." Kevin Brown, a burly security guard in his 50s, ambled over. "What's the problem, Sharon?" "Fraudulent check. Large amount. You know the drill." James remained perfectly calm. His Platinum American Express black card caught the overhead lights as he adjusted his wallet. The distinctive metallic gleam was unmistakable to anyone who knew luxury cards. A first-class boarding pass from his morning flight peeked from his jacket pocket. The golden first-class lettering was clearly visible. His phone screen lit up with notifications. The calendar showed board meeting, 3 p.m. in bold letters. Below that, several missed calls from Tom Wilson, Regional Director. "Sir, I'm going to need you to step back from the counter," Kevin announced. "I'm conducting legitimate business." "Sharon says otherwise." The elderly woman behind James in line tapped her foot impatiently. "Some people have no shame," she muttered, "coming in here with fake money." A businessman in an expensive suit shook his head. They should check ID before letting people like him in. Ashley's live stream now had 300 viewers. Comments flooded in. "This is so wrong." "Call the police on him." "Why isn't security doing anything?" "That man looks suspicious." Sharon's voice grew louder, more theatrical. "We take fraud very seriously at First National. We've seen this before." She waved the check like evidence at a trial. "The paper quality is wrong. The routing numbers look fake. Everything about this screams forgery." James watched her performance with growing concern. Not for himself, he knew exactly who he was, but for what this revealed about the bank's training, its culture, its values. Ma'am, would you like to run the verification? It takes 30 seconds. I don't need to run anything. I can spot a fake from across the room. Kevin stepped closer, his hand resting on his radio. Sir, I think it's time for you to leave. Before she verifies the check. The check is obviously fake, Sharon declared. Look at this man. Look at his clothes. Does he look like someone with $2 million? More customers had gathered, forming a loose semicircle around the drama. Phones appeared. The bank's own security cameras captured everything from multiple angles. Ashley's viewer count hit 500. The comments section exploded. She's profiling him. This is discrimination. Someone call corporate. He should sue. But mixed among the outrage were other voices. He does look suspicious. Banks have to be careful. She's just doing her job. Sharon pulled out her lighter, a cheap plastic one with the bank's logo. You want to know what we do with fake checks here? She flicked it open. The flame danced orange and blue. We dispose of them permanently. James's eyes widened. Ma'am, please don't. This filthy check is fake. Watch me burn it right now. The paper caught fire instantly. Sharon held it up like a trophy as it curled and blackened. Ash drifted to the marble floor. That's what we do to fraudsters here. Kevin nodded approvingly. The watching customers murmured agreement. Ashley's live stream hit 600 viewers, comments flying too fast to read. James stared at the smoldering remains of his business check. His face remained calm, but something shifted in his eyes. Something quiet and dangerous. He pulled out his phone and scrolled to a contact labeled Tom Wilson, Regional Director. The ambient noise of the bank conversations, typing, phones ringing seemed to fade into background silence. Are you absolutely certain about your decision? James asked quietly. Sharon beamed with satisfaction. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. James nodded slowly, his finger hovering over Tom's number. I want you to remember you said that. James pressed Tom Wilson's contact. The phone rang once before connecting. Tom Wilson's office. Tom, it's James. I'm at the First National downtown branch. There's been an incident. Sharon's smile faltered slightly at the professional tone. She glanced at Kevin, who shrugged. Mr. Carter? Tom's voice carried immediate concern even through the phone's speaker. What kind of incident? Are you hurt? I'm fine, but we need to discuss your branch operations. I'll be right there. Don't do anything until I arrive. The call ended. James slipped the phone back into his pocket and settled into a lobby chair with unsettling calm. Sharon's confidence wavered. Who was that supposed to be? Someone you'll meet shortly. Kevin stepped forward, chest puffed. Sir, you need to leave the premises immediately. I'm waiting for someone. You're trespassing. James pulled out his phone again, opening his banking app. The screen showed First National business account with a balance that made Kevin's eyes widen involuntarily. But James closed it before anyone else could see clearly. Ashley's TikTok stream had exploded to 2,000 viewers. She whispered breathlessly into her phone, Guys, this is getting crazy. The security guard is trying to kick him out, but the man just made some phone call and now he's acting like he owns the place. Comments poured in faster than she could read. Someone important is coming. This is about to get good. Plot twist incoming. Record everything. Sharon marched over to James. I don't know who you think you are, but this is over. Is it? The simple question hung in the air. Something about James's tone made her step back. Kevin grabbed his radio. This is Kevin at Downtown Branch. We have a suspicious individual refusing to leave. Possible fraud investigation needed. Copy that. Unit en route. Sharon announced loudly to the entire lobby. Everyone, we have a situation here. A man attempted to deposit a fraudulent check and is now refusing to leave when asked. The elderly woman in line nodded vigorously. I saw the whole thing. Very suspicious behavior. The businessman adjusted his tie. You can tell just by looking at him. But others disagreed. A young mother with her daughter whispered, "This doesn't seem right." A college student recording on his phone said, "Lady, you burned his check without even checking it." Ashley's live stream count hit 3,000. She'd started using hashtags. Hashtag banking, while black hashtag discrimination, hashtag first national. The video was being shared across platforms. Twitter picked it up. Instagram stories multiplied. Facebook posts spread through community groups. James sat perfectly still, occasionally checking his phone. His calendar showed that board meeting in 2 hours. Below it, missed calls from regional operations, compliance director, and legal department. Sharon grew more agitated by the minute. "Kevin, why is he still here?" "Sir, final warning. Leave or we call police." "Call them!" The simple response shocked everyone. Kevin fumbled for his radio again. "Downtown branch requesting police assistance. Trespassing situation. ETA 15 minutes. Sharon's face flushed red. "You hear that? 15 minutes until you're arrested." James checked his watch. "Tom should be here in 10. "Tom who?" "You'll see." The livestream comments exploded. "Who is Tom? This man knows something. Sharon is about to get fired." Plot twist loading. More customers had gathered, phones out, recording everything. The bank's marble lobby buzzed with nervous energy. Lisa Davis approached Sharon nervously. "Maybe we should check that routing number after all?" "Absolutely not. I know fraud when I see it." James opened his phone's photo gallery, scrolling to a picture from earlier that morning. A group photo labeled Q3 board meeting preparation. In it, James stood at the head of a conference table surrounded by men in expensive suits. He closed the phone before anyone could see clearly. Ashley's stream hit 4,000 viewers. People were sharing the link everywhere. Bank manager burns black man's check. "You won't believe what happens next. This is going viral." The comments section had become a battlefield. "She's racist. He's obviously lying. Where's the manager? This bank is about to get sued." Sharon paced behind the counter, checking the clock. 12 minutes until police arrived. She'd never been so sure of herself. Kevin stationed himself directly in front of James. "Sir, you have 8 minutes before this becomes a criminal matter." "I understand." The calmness was unnerving. Most people would be panicking, arguing, making demands. James just sat there like he was waiting for a business meeting, which, in a way, he was. A black sedan pulled up outside. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, everyone could see a man in an expensive suit hurrying toward the entrance. Ashley zoomed in with her phone. "Guys, someone just pulled up. This looks important." Sharon glanced outside, then back at James. "Is that supposed to be Tom?" "That's Tom." The lobby doors opened. Tom Wilson burst through, hair slightly disheveled, breathing hard like he'd been running. He scanned the room quickly, spotted James, and his face went pale. "Mr. Carter," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "I sincerely apologize for whatever has happened here." The word "Mr." hung in the air like a bomb. Sharon's mouth fell open. Kevin's hand dropped from his radio. The live stream viewer count exploded past 5,000 as Ashley whispered, "Oh my God. Oh my God. This is about to get real." Tom Wilson's deference was unmistakable. He approached James with the careful respect reserved for someone very important. "Mr. Carter, I came as soon as I could." What exactly happened here? The entire lobby fell silent. Ashley's live stream hit 6,000 viewers, comments flying. "Mr. Carter? Who is this man? Sharon is done." Sharon stared in confusion. "Tom, what's going on?" This man tried to deposit a fake check. Tom's face went white. A fake check? What check? 2.3 million, obviously fraudulent. I disposed of it properly. Sharon's voice carried less confidence now. You disposed of it? James spoke quietly. She burned it, without verification. Tom closed his eyes as if in physical pain. Sharon, please tell me you didn't burn a check without running standard verification. I don't need to verify obvious fakes. Lisa Davis whispered urgently. Sharon, maybe we should— No. Sharon's voice cracked slightly. I know what I saw. Tom pulled out his phone, fingers trembling as he opened the corporate directory. He scrolled to a contact and showed the screen to Sharon. Her face drained of all color. The contact read, James Carter, board member, majority shareholder. The phone slipped from Tom's hands, clattering on the marble floor. Ashley's camera caught everything. Her whispered commentary reached 7,000 viewers. Y'all. This man owns the bank. The manager just burned her boss's check. Kevin stepped backward, radio forgotten. Sir, we didn't know. James stood slowly, his movement commanding attention. Tom, could you explain to Sharon exactly who she's been talking to? Tom's voice shook. Sharon Mitchell, meet James Carter. He owns 52% of First National Banking Corporation. The words hit like thunder. Sharon gripped the counter for support. That's impossible. James pulled out his phone, opening his banking app with deliberate calm. The screen showed J. Carter Holdings, LLC, account balance $847 million. Several customers gasped audibly. Ashley zoomed in, capturing the number for her stream. 52%, Tom continued, of a corporation valued at $5.4 billion. James swiped to another screen. Corporate structure, Tom. Explain it. Mr. Carter founded our parent company in 1998. He maintains controlling interest in all subsidiary banks, including this branch. Sharon's legs gave way. She collapsed into her chair. The live stream exploded past 8,000 viewers. She burned her boss's check. This is the best karma ever. Sharon is so fired. James opened his calendar app, showing the afternoon schedule. 3 p.m., Q3 board meeting. 4:30 p.m., regional performance reviews. 6 p.m., branch manager evaluations. Tom read over his shoulder. Oh God, today's your quarterly branch visits. Unannounced evaluations, James confirmed, to assess customer service quality. Sharon made a strangled sound. This was a test? This was your performance review. The weight of those words settled over the lobby. Every interaction, every word, every gesture had been evaluated by the man who controlled her career. James continued with devastating calm. Tom, what's Sharon's branch performance rating? Currently excellent, sir. And after today's evaluation? Tom couldn't meet Sharon's eyes. That would be your decision, Mr. Carter. Ashley's stream hit 10,000 viewers. The comments were chaos. Plot twist of the century. She tested her own boss. This is better than Netflix. James opened another app, the bank's internal performance system. Sharon's name appeared with metrics, ratings, customer feedback scores. Interesting reading, Sharon. Your customer satisfaction scores are quite high. She stared in horror as he scrolled through her evaluations. Until today. Kevin backed toward the wall. Mr. Carter, sir, I was just following protocol. Protocol is to verify checks before destroying them. Yes, sir. Protocol is to treat all customers with dignity. Yes, sir. James looked directly at Sharon. You violated both protocols while being evaluated by your ultimate supervisor. The teenage live streamer could barely contain her excitement. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. 12,000 people are watching this. Tom frantically checked his own phone. Sir, the video is trending on TikTok. Hashtag banking while black has 50,000 posts. Good, James said simply. Sharon found her voice. Mr. Carter, I had no way of knowing. You had every way of knowing. Computer verification takes 30 seconds. I assumed. You assumed based on what, exactly? The question hung in silence. Everyone knew the answer. No one wanted to say it. James sat back down, checking his watch. Tom, what time does our board meeting start? 3 o'clock, sir. And what's the first agenda item? Tom's voice was barely audible. Customer service standards across all branches. Ashley whispered to her phone. 15,000 viewers now. This man is about to destroy her entire career. James looked up at Sharon with quiet authority. We have 45 minutes before I present today's findings to the board. Would you like to explain to them why you burned your boss's check? The lobby had become a corporate courtroom. James Carter sat like a judge while Sharon Mitchell faced the destruction of everything she'd built. Tom Wilson pulled up the corporate database on his tablet. Mr. Carter, should I document this incident formally? Please do. Full report. Tom's fingers trembled as he typed. Incident classification? Discrimination. Federal banking violation. Destruction of legitimate financial instruments. Each word hit Sharon like a physical blow. She gripped her desk, knuckles white. James opened his phone's notepad app. Let's review the facts, Tom. For the board. Yes, sir. At 11:47 a.m., I presented a legitimate business check for $2,300,000 to teller Sharon Mitchell. Ashley's live stream had reached 18,000 viewers. Comments flooded faster than the eye could track. This is insane. She's getting destroyed. Best karma video ever. She refused standard verification procedures, James continued. Why, Tom? Tom checked the compliance manual on his tablet. Federal Regulation 12 CFR 229.13 requires verification of all checks over $5,000. And she burned it instead? Apparently, yes. Sharon finally found her voice. Mr. Carter, I sincerely apologize. If I had known... Known what? That I was your employer? Or that destroying customers' property is wrong? The question silenced her. James pulled up financial reports on his phone. Tom, remind me of this branch's annual contribution to corporate revenue. Downtown branch generates $43 million yearly, sir. And what percentage of our total deposits come from minority-owned businesses? Tom scrolled through demographics data. Approximately 23%, sir. That's $641 million in deposits. $641 million, James repeated, letting the number sink in. Sharon, you just alienated the demographic responsible for over $500 million in deposits. Sharon's face went ashen. The mathematical reality was crushing. Kevin whispered to another security guard. She's done. Career over. James opened the corporate legal database. Tom, what are the potential liabilities here? Sir, discrimination under the Equal Credit Opportunity Act carries penalties up to $500,000 per incident. And civil liability? Potentially unlimited depending on damages claimed. Ashley's stream had exploded to 25,000 viewers. Screenshots were spreading across every social platform. Banking while black. Corporate karma. It's our first national fail. Mr. Carter, Tom continued, the video has 2.3 million views across all platforms. In how long? 2 hours, sir. James pulled up stock market data. And our share price? Tom checked his trading app. Down 3.2% since the video went viral. That's approximately $183 million in market cap. The numbers were devastating. Sharon had cost the bank nearly $200 million in market value with a single racist act. James opened his contacts, scrolling to Legal Department, General Counsel. Should I call our attorneys, Tom? That might be wise, sir. Or, James paused, we could handle this internally. Sharon looked up with desperate hope. Internally? Federal oversight is mandatory now. The FDIC requires investigation of all discrimination complaints. Tom nodded grimly. Banking license review is automatic, sir. James showed his phone screen. Missed calls from federal regulators, compliance officers, and the regional FDIC office. Tom, how many discrimination complaints has this branch received? None in the past 5 years, sir. Until today. Until today. Ashley whispered to her massive audience. 30,000 viewers. This is the most watched thing on TikTok right now. James stood, commanding the room's attention. Sharon, you violated specific federal regulations. Which ones, Tom? Tom read from his tablet. Equal Credit Opportunity Act, Section 1691. Fair Housing Act, Section 3605, and possibly Federal Deposit Insurance Act, Section 1818. Penalties? Criminal charges possible, civil fines, personal liability. Sharon's career wasn't just over. She faced potential federal prosecution. Mr. Carter, she whispered, what can I do? James studied her for a long moment. You can explain to my board of directors why you assumed a black man in casual clothes couldn't have $2.3 million. I don't know how to explain that. Because there is no explanation, only prejudice. The live stream comments had become a tsunami. Drag her. This is justice. She deserves everything she gets. James checked his watch. 20 minutes until the board meeting, Tom. Sir, what should I tell them? The truth. That our downtown branch manager destroyed a customer's property based on racial assumptions. And recommendations? James opened the corporate policy manual. Immediate suspension pending federal investigation. Mandatory bias training for all staff. Implementation of new customer service protocols. Tom typed frantically. New protocols? Every customer interaction will be monitored. AI bias detection software. Real-time compliance tracking. Budget for implementation? $5 million, funded by eliminating Sharon's position. The brutal efficiency was breathtaking. Sharon's job would literally pay for the system designed to prevent future Sharons. Ashley's stream hit 40,000 viewers. The video was trending #1 globally. Bank manager burns boss's check. Tom, draft a press release. First National commits to banking equality, zero tolerance for discrimination. Should I mention today's incident? Feature it. Show we take action when employees violate our values. Sharon realized she was about to become a national symbol of banking discrimination. Her face would represent everything wrong with financial institutions. Mr. Carter, please. I have a family, a mortgage. I've worked here 12 years. James looked at her with something that might have been pity. You should have thought about that before you lit my check on fire. He turned to Tom. Call the board. Emergency session in 15 minutes. Tom dialed rapidly. Board members, please join the 3 p.m. meeting immediately. Priority Alpha. Alpha priority? Sharon whispered. Code for potential criminal liability, Tom explained. Requires immediate legal counsel. James gathered his phone, wallet, and the burned check remnants. Sharon, you have 15 minutes to prepare your explanation. The board will want to hear directly from you why you cost us $200 million. He walked toward the exit, then paused. And Sharon? The live stream is still running. 45,000 people are watching you right now. The emergency board meeting convened in the executive conference room 30 floors above the lobby where Sharon's career had just imploded. Ashley's live stream continued broadcasting to 60,000 viewers as security escorted Sharon upstairs. "This is unprecedented," whispered Tom Wilson to his phone. "Full board emergency session." James sat at the head of the polished mahogany table, flanked by 8 other board members who'd arrived within minutes. The live stream counted 70,000 viewers now, with major news outlets picking up the story. "Gentlemen," James began, "we have a crisis." He displayed the burnt check remnants on the table. At 11:47 a.m., our downtown branch manager Sharon Mitchell burned a legitimate $2.3 million deposit based on customer appearance. Board member William Davis leaned forward. "She burned your check, James?" "Without verification, without following protocol, while being recorded by multiple witnesses." The room erupted in urgent whispers. Tom connected his tablet to the wall display, showing real-time social media metrics. TikTok, 3.2 million views. Twitter, #banking, while Black trending globally. Instagram, 850,000 shares. Stock price, down 7.8%. 700 million in market cap lost, announced CFO Margaret Thompson. And climbing. James pulled up the live stream on his phone. Ashley's commentary reached 85,000 live viewers. "Y'all, they took her upstairs for the board meeting. This woman is about to face the music." "The damage assessment," James continued. "Sharon's actions violated 3 federal regulations, triggered mandatory FDIC investigation, and created potential criminal liability." Legal counsel Robert Miller spoke urgently. "James, we need immediate damage control." "Agreed. Sharon Mitchell is suspended effective immediately." Through the conference room's glass walls, they could see Sharon in an adjacent room, pacing frantically while speaking to a union representative. "Public statement?" asked PR Director Jennifer Adams. "Full transparency. We acknowledge the incident, take responsibility, and announce comprehensive reforms." Tom projected the proposed statement. "First National Banking Corporation deeply regrets today's discriminatory incident at our downtown branch. We have suspended the employee involved and implemented immediate corrective measures." "Not enough," James said. "We need systemic change." He opened his laptop, displaying a detailed reform proposal he'd drafted during the elevator ride. Dignity Banking Initiative, $50 million investment. The board members leaned forward as James presented. First, zero tolerance policy. Any discrimination results in immediate termination. No exceptions. Second, AI bias detection. Every customer interaction monitored in real time for discriminatory language or behavior. Third, mandatory training. Quarterly unconscious bias education for all employees. Fourth, customer advocacy program. Direct reporting line to corporate for discrimination complaints. Fifth, community investment, $20 million fund for minority-owned business loans. The live stream audience had swelled to 100,000 viewers. Ashley whispered breathlessly, "This is history being made, y'all. They're completely changing how banks work because of what happened today." Board member Charles Wilson raised his hand. "Implementation timeline? Immediate. AI system launches Monday. Training begins next week. Policy takes effect today." Margaret Thompson checked her calculator. $50 million is significant, James. Sharon cost us $700 million in market value. $50 million for reform is a bargain. Through the glass, they watched Sharon collapse into a chair, head in her hands. Her union representative spoke frantically into his phone. Tom received a text message. "Sir, Sharon's requesting to make a public apology." Approved. But she addresses the live stream audience first. The board voted unanimously to implement James's reforms. Legal began drafting the new policies while PR prepared the public statement. James returned to the lobby, where Ashley's stream had reached 120,000 viewers. The teenager nearly dropped her phone when she saw him. "Mr. Carter, can you tell us what happened upstairs?" "Major changes," James said simply. Would you mind broadcasting Sharon's apology? Absolutely. Sharon appeared, flanked by Tom and a union representative. Her face was streaked with tears, makeup smeared. I want to speak directly to everyone watching, she began, voice shaking. The live stream comments exploded. Here we go. Apology time. This better be good. My name is Sharon Mitchell. 2 hours ago, I made the worst mistake of my career and my life. Her voice cracked. I burned a customer's check without verification because I made assumptions based on his race and appearance. That customer was James Carter, the owner of this bank. But that's not why I'm apologizing. She looked directly into Ashley's camera. I'm apologizing because what I did was wrong, regardless of who he was. Every customer deserves dignity and respect. The comments shifted. She's really crying. This seems genuine. Still should be fired, though. I have no excuse for my behavior. I let prejudice cloud my judgment and violated everything this bank claims to stand for. James stepped forward. Sharon has been suspended pending investigation, but her apology is the first step in our comprehensive reform. He addressed the camera directly. To the 130,000 people watching, First National Banking is changing today. We're implementing the most advanced anti-discrimination system in banking history. Ashley could barely contain her excitement. Mr. Carter, what does that mean exactly? AI monitoring of every customer interaction, real-time bias detection, immediate intervention when discrimination occurs, and if employees discriminate anyway, immediate termination. Zero tolerance. The live stream had become a national town hall on banking discrimination. Comments poured in from viewers sharing their own experiences. This happened to me at Wells Fargo. Chase treated my mom this way. Finally, someone fighting back. Tom announced the new customer advocacy program. Direct phone line to corporate. Any discrimination complaint reaches Mr. Carter's desk within 1 hour. The number? Ashley asked. Tom displayed a poster-sized sign. 1-800-DIGNITY. Available 24/7. The comments erupted with people screenshotting the number. James addressed the camera one final time. Banking should never depend on how you look or what you wear. Today's incident reminded us that we have work to do. Our $50 million Dignity Banking Initiative launches Monday. Every employee will receive bias training. Every interaction will be monitored. Every customer will be treated with respect. Sharon stepped forward again. I'll be participating in sensitivity training and community service. I want to make this right. Will you keep your job? Ashley asked. James answered. That depends on the federal investigation and Sharon's commitment to change. The union representative whispered something urgent to Sharon. I accept full responsibility, Sharon said, and I'll cooperate completely with any investigation. The live stream reached 150,000 viewers as James made his final announcement. First National Banking Corporation is donating $1 million to organizations fighting banking discrimination. We're also establishing the James Carter Scholarship Fund for minority business students. Ashley's jaw dropped. $1 million? Sharon's actions cost us hundreds of millions. $1 million for justice is the least we can do. The PR team released statements to major media outlets. The story dominated news cycles within hours. By evening, #DignityBanking was trending globally. Other banks announced similar initiatives. Sharon's meltdown had accidentally sparked industry-wide reform. 3 months later, Sharon completed her sensitivity training and returned as a customer service trainer, teaching other employees about unconscious bias. The AI system had prevented 47 potential discrimination incidents across all branches. James's quarterly reports showed record-high customer satisfaction scores. 6 months after Sharon Mitchell burned James Carter's check, the banking industry had fundamentally changed. Ashley's original TikTok video had been viewed 47 million times across all platforms. Major news networks featured the story as a case study in corporate accountability. James sat in his corner office, reviewing quarterly reports that told a remarkable story. Customer satisfaction had increased 34% across all First National branches. Minority business deposits had grown by $2.1 billion. Stock price had recovered and reached all-time highs. The Dignity Banking Initiative had exceeded every projection. Tom Wilson knocked on the door. "Sir, the federal investigation results just came in." "And?" "FDIC cleared us of systematic discrimination. They're actually recommending our AI system as the industry standard." James smiled. "What about Sharon?" "Completed her training. Customer feedback on her bias awareness seminars is excellent." It was true. Sharon had become the bank's most effective discrimination prevention trainer. Her personal story resonated with employees who might otherwise dismiss sensitivity training as corporate formality. Kevin Brown had requested transfer to the new Customer Advocacy Department. He now investigated discrimination complaints with the passion of someone who'd witnessed injustice firsthand. Ashley Martinez, the teenager whose live stream had sparked everything, had been invited to speak at banking conferences about social media's role in corporate accountability. Her TikTok following had grown to 5.3 million. The phone rang. James answered to find Congressional Representative Maria Gonzalez. "Mr. Carter, the House Financial Services Committee wants to discuss your discrimination prevention model." "For what purpose?" "Federal legislation, making AI bias detection mandatory for all banks." James leaned back in his chair. Sharon's moment of prejudice was about to reshape American banking law. "I'd be honored to testify." After hanging up, he opened his laptop to check the monthly discrimination report. 0 incidents across 847 branches. The AI system had flagged and prevented potential bias in real time. His phone buzzed with a text from Sharon. "Mr. Carter, thank you for giving me a second chance. Today, I helped train 50 employees at the Chicago branch. They watched my video and understood immediately why change matters. The irony was perfect. Sharon's worst moment had become her greatest contribution." James opened social media to see continued discussion about banking equality. The movement had spread globally. UK banks adopted similar monitoring systems. Canadian institutions implemented bias training. Australian banks created customer advocacy programs. One racist act had accidentally improved banking for millions of people worldwide. His assistant knocked. "Sir, 60 Minutes wants to interview you about institutional change. Schedule it." James walked to his window, looking down at the First National branch where everything had started. The lobby displayed a large sign, "Dignity Banking, Every Customer Matters." Through the glass, he watched diverse customers conducting business with smiling tellers. The AI monitors were invisible but present, ensuring respectful interactions. A young black entrepreneur was opening his first business account. The teller was enthusiastic, professional, engaged. No assumptions, no judgments, just service. This was the legacy James had wanted to create. His phone pinged with another social media notification. Someone had shared Ashley's original video with the caption, "Remember when this changed everything?" The comments were thousands of personal stories. "This video gave me courage to report discrimination at my bank." "My daughter saw this and decided to study business law." "I switched to First National because of how they handled this." "Sharon's training helped me recognize my own biases." James scrolled through dozens of testimonials from people whose lives had been touched by that day's events. A knock interrupted his thoughts. Tom entered with a special visitor. "Sir, there's someone here to see you." Ashley Martinez walked in, no longer the nervous teenager with a phone. Now 19, she wore a business suit and carried a briefcase. "Mr. Carter, I wanted to thank you personally." "For what?" "That day changed my life. I'm starting at Harvard Business School next month. Full scholarship from your foundation." James smiled. "You earned it. Your video started a revolution. I have something for you." She handed him a framed screenshot from her original live stream. The image showed James sitting calmly while Sharon held the burning check. The caption read, "The moment that changed banking forever." The comments on that video taught me more about justice than any textbook could, Ashley said. People shared stories, supported each other, demanded change. Social media became a force for good. James hung the frame on his office wall next to his Harvard MBA and various corporate awards. Ashley, what's your career goal? Banking law. I want to make sure what happened to you never happens to anyone else. After she left, James returned to his computer. The monthly analytics showed First National had become the most trusted bank in America. Customer retention was 97%. Employee satisfaction had reached record highs. But the most meaningful metric was simple: 0 discrimination complaints in 6 months. Sharon's prejudice had accidentally created the most inclusive banking system in history. James opened his video recording app and looked directly into the camera. 6 months ago, a bank manager burned my check because of how I looked. Today, banking is different because people like you demanded change. He paused, choosing his words carefully. Discrimination thrives in silence. But when you witness injustice, you have power. Record it, share it, demand accountability. Your voice matters, your story matters. Together, we can change systems that need changing. He ended the recording and posted it across all social platforms with a simple message. Have you experienced discrimination? Share your story in the comments. Let's continue the conversation. Hit subscribe to stay connected with real-life stories that inspire change. Together, these touching stories become movements that transform our world. Within hours, thousands of people were sharing their experiences. Black stories, immigrant stories, stories of overcoming bias in every industry. Sharon's moment of hate had become a catalyst for unprecedented conversations about justice, dignity, and the power of speaking truth to power.